Most guys are terrible when it comes to building their dating profile. They don't know how to take good pictures. They don't know what looks good. They have no idea about photo composition, lighting, wardrobe, anything like that. Posing, looking attractive, being natural, just like public speaking, being able to be photographed comes with time and repetitions because men don't usually take pictures of themselves. Like that's the one thing men come to this realization generally where it's like, all right, man, like you need to build a profile and the pictures they take, it's just like they're terrible. But we don't take pictures of ourselves the way that women do. Like women are constantly taking pictures of themselves. And it's only because guys don't get recognition. Like just take like a girl could take a picture of her just standing in front of her mirror in pajamas with her hair messy and greasy and with no makeup on and post to her, a couple thousand followers and just likes like through the roof. No guy's ever going to be able to do that. Like people don't want to see that from guys. They don't want to see guys that are like in their pajamas with greasy hair and this and that. So, and actually, in your odds of matching is going to be much lower, right? So, I mean, it's all right on your time, but I actually saw some research recently that the average guy, there was it's hard to say with the sample size, but this one person in particular, I think he had to swipe like 100 times just to get one match. And then he had to build up at least 5 matches just to get on a date. And I think he had to go on something like 20 or 30 dates just to get a second date. So you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands of swipes for, the average man. So it's it's tough out there on the dating apps. Demographics are also not in your favor. The guys that are on or the vast majority of users on dating apps are men. It's something like 70 to 30. So there's twice as many men as there are women, which means that you guys are fighting for, 70% of you are fighting for 30% of the women out there. And women generally are rating the vast majority of men on dating apps as unattractive. Like their swiping apps and their swiping habits are where we get a lot of this. Hey, 80% of women are going for the top 20% of men. Like 80% of men are rated as undesirable or unattractive on dating apps. So, and I'll say this is more of like a personal opinion. But I've also spoken to women about this. Is like, especially guys that take this really seriously, because that's a lot of things that guys do. They'll take it seriously and they'll really care about it. And they build this sort of profile that, like, if you'll notice, this is something that a lot of women do. There's sort of like two versions of women on dating apps. If you see a woman who it's about bio. The hottest women, the most desirable women on dating apps, like the nines and tens, eight, nines and tens, if you will, usually there's no bio at all, or they just will put their Instagram in the handle or something like that. They'll be like, oh, I'm never here. Follow me on Instagram. Because they don't have to work hard to get matches. They don't have to get swipes. They don't have to say or do anything because they're hot. What I've always noticed is that it's less attractive women or even older women that have just these crazy long bios and all of these expectations and this and that and the other. So it's kind of the same thing that women see in men. Like the more seriously you take it, and this goes against logic and reason, but the more seriously that you take your dating app profile and that you list off all of these things, the more they'll say like, this guy is way too over invested like in dating. You almost have to care less. She goes, oh, this guy doesn't really care. So it's a tightrope to walk because it's like, how do I make my profile so it looks like I don't care, but I care enough. So there's all of these nuanced things that go into it. And there's guys out there that have a lot of success. My personal opinion is that you should be using dating apps as a lead generation funnel, as a lead magnet, right? So if you want to do the swiping, if you want to, see where this, because you can also pretty much guarantee. I mean, it's not always a given, but you can, with a certain degree of certainty, you understand that the women that you find on dating apps are single and that are looking to date. The women you'll run into on the street, the women that you'll go run out to into bars and nightclubs and places like that, if that's what you're doing, there's never a guarantee that they're single, and it's not contextually conducive to a romantic interaction. if you're on a dating app, you both kind of know why you're there. You're there to meet each other. You're there to meet people. You're there to have romantic interactions, etc. So, while you may get, and again, you could approach 100 women, but how many of those women are going to be single, or how many of those women are going to be in a relationship or have a boyfriend or something like that going on? You can pretty much guarantee that if you swipe on 100 women on a dating app, they're single and they're looking for a relationship. Some of those girls, sure, just there to feed their ego, look for attention, things like that. But I generally think that, women, if the right guy comes along, that guy comes along, they'll be willing to entertain them. So, but that being said, Instagram is much more powerful in my opinion, because one, just straight up demographics. I mentioned that 70% of users on dating apps are men, which leaves 30% of women. It's much closer to 50-50 on Instagram. I believe on some of the research that I've done, that the actual majority of Instagram users are women. I don't think it's significant. I think it's like 53-47 or 52-48, but it's much closer to 50-50 and actually skews towards women. It actually skews towards younger women as well. So if you are, looking to date younger women in their 20s and 30s, it's much more likely that those women are going to have Instagram, than your 40-year-old, 50-year-old women. They're just not going to use it as much. They're not going to be as tech savvy. They would resort to dating apps probably first. So demographics are definitely on your side. The number of users are on your side. I think Tinder has 50 million users or 75 million users. Bumble and Hinge have somewhere in the realm of like 20 to 30 million. So, and then Instagram, I think, has over a billion. I think maybe 2 billion users. So just sheer numbers wise, you are going to be running into people, or you're going to have more of a pool to choose from and more of a pool of options on Instagram versus any dating app. I think one of the my favorite parts about Instagram is that you also have plausible deniability. I was talking about how girls see guys that are on dating apps and are like, why is this guy taking this thing so seriously? Like, why is he on this dating app? Or if he's really, a high value guy, or if he's really got these choices, or if he's really that dude that I want to entertain or potentially date and see where it goes, then why is he even on Instagram? Or like, why is he even on a dating app? Why doesn't he have options? And again, these might sound irrational, but women think like this all the time, right? Like women will find any reason to be like, ugh, that gives me the ick, or whatever the hell it is. But with Instagram, you've got plausible deniability. People are on Instagram for a ton of different reasons. They do it to post pictures and keep up with their friends. They do it to build a personal brand. They use it for business networking. I'd say the least popular reason that guys have Instagram is for dating. And that kind of allows you to fly under the radar a little bit. Everybody's got Instagram, right? It's like weird if you don't have an Instagram almost, because it's just the most popular social media of our time right now. I know girls out there that think it is weird when guys don't have social media and they don't at least have an Instagram. It's just one of those things, especially if they're younger women in their 20s and 30s. And women will like to say like, oh, I don't want my guy to have Instagram, or, I don't want my guy to do this because he'll get attention. But you should have Instagram if you are trying to date, or if you should use it. It's such a powerful tool. I know so many dudes that run successful businesses or have really, really interesting lives, but they're terrible at documenting it. And most of that is because, like I said, guys just don't know how. Guys don't take pictures of themselves, or they don't entertain that sort of stuff. They take pictures of things. Women take pictures of themselves. So if guys are on the Grand Canyon, like they're taking picture of the landscape, a woman's going to do this, like turn around and take a picture of herself at the Grand Canyon. There's a great meme, like, we're not going to pull it up, but it's like how men take pictures and it's just an object, and how women take pictures, it's her face in front of the object. So that's generally, but again, that's what they do. They were born that way, and that's always, because when that's an easy way to get attention and to get validation, why wouldn't you? Most men are not getting attention and validation, especially if they're taking pictures like that, like lazy photos that don't even matter. So demographics are on your side. The user base is on your side. You've got plausible deniability. One of the most powerful things about Instagram that swiping apps don't really have is Instagram can actually be a passive lead generator, a passive magnet, a passive way to get women. On Tinder and Bumble and Hinge, it really relies on the guy to do all of the heavy lifting. You're the one that's sending the messaging. You're the one that's sort of doing the most of the swiping. Most girls are not actually swiping on guys that are in their stack or their feed. They just go to people that have already liked them, and they're choosing from those guys. That, like, that's what a lot of you guys don't understand. Some of you guys do, but a lot of you guys don't. Like, your experience on a dating app is so much different than a woman's experience on a dating app. You are swiping potential, like, I'm going to like her, and then maybe we'll see if she likes me back. There's always that unknown aspect. For a woman, and her perspective is, I have 100 or 1,000 or 5,000 guys that have already said I'm attractive, and now I get to pick which one that I also agree is attractive, that I'm also interested in. It's just such a different experience. But a lot of women will say that's a bad thing, or that is something where they feel overwhelmed by choice, because, and I can understand that, dude. If you go into an ice cream shop and it's like, we have 8,000 flavors, you're just like, holy I'll be there forever trying to find the perfect one and decide.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here, where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.